Peppa Pig, digging up the road. It is a lovely sunny day. Peppa and her family are driving to the playground.
Is everyone ready?
Asks Daddy Pig. Yes! Shout Peppa and George.
Then off we go!
Says Daddy Pig. Peppa and George love going to the playground. Oh dear! Daddy Pig has stopped the car. Why have we stopped? Asks Peppa.
We're in a traffic jam,
says Daddy Pig. George starts to cry. He wants to go to the playground.
Don't worry, George. The traffic is moving now,
says Daddy Pig.
Stop!
Shouts Mr. Bull. Mr. Bull has stopped the traffic again. What's the problem, Mr. Bull? Asks Mummy Pig.
Moo! We're digging up the road!
Shouts Mr. Bull. Look, says Peppa. There's water coming out of the ground.
Yes, there's a broken pipe under the road, and we're gonna fix it,
says Mr. Bull. Will it take long? Asks Mummy Pig.
It will take as long as it takes,
says Mr. Bull. First, Mr. Rhino digs a hole in the road with his digger. Digger! Digger! Cries George. George likes diggers. Next, Mr. Bull turns the water off, and a crane lifts out the old pipe. Then the crane puts in the new pipe. Crane! Crane! Cries George. George likes cranes. Thank you for showing us your work, Mr. Bull, says Mummy Pig.
Moo! No problem,
says Mr. Bull. Mr. Bull changes the traffic lights to green, and off they go. Oh dear! George starts to cry again. He doesn't want to leave Mr. Bull. But we're going to the playground, George, says Peppa. You can play diggers and cranes in the sandpit, says Mummy Pig.
And we'll see Mr. Bull again on our way home,
says Daddy Pig. George stops crying. He likes going to the playground, especially when he can play diggers and cranes in the sandpit with Richard Rabbit and Edmund Elephant. Peppa and George have lots of fun at the playground. George, it's time to go, says Mummy Pig. George starts to cry again. He doesn't want to go home. Daddy Pig, Mummy Pig, Peppa and George set off in their car.
Moo! Stop!
Shouts Mr. Bull. Is the water pipe broken again? Asks Peppa.
No! This time it's a faulty electrical cable,
says Mr. Bull. How do you mend a faulty clackety cable? Asks Peppa.
We dig up the road, of course,
says Mr. Bull. Hooray! Cheer Peppa and George. Everyone loves it when Mr. Bull digs up the road. And that was Peppa Pig digging up the road. Peppa Pig Doctors. It is playtime. Peppa and Pedro Pony are playing in the garden when they hear a squeak, squeak, from up in a tree. What's that noise? Asks Pedro. He looks up and gasps. It's Tiddles the tortoise. Don't worry, Tiddles. We can get you down. I'll just shake this tree and... Whoosh! Tiddles falls from the tree and bumps Pedro's nose on his way down. Ouch! Shouts Pedro. Madame Gazelle comes to help. Oh dear, what happened? She asks. Tiddles fell on Pedro's nose, says Peppa. Madame Gazelle calls the doctor. Dr. Brown Bear hurries over.
Hello, where's the patient?
He asks. Hey, my nose hurts, says Pedro. Dr. Brown Bear gives Pedro a green plaster for his nose.
That will make it better,
says Dr. Brown Bear. My glasses fell in the mud, says Pedro.
You need an optician to fix them,
says Dr. Brown Bear. The optician arrives. It is Dr. Pony. He is Pedro's daddy. Can you please read this chart for me, Pedro? Says Dr. Pony. I can't. My glasses aren't working, says Pedro. Dr. Pony spots the problem. These glasses just need a good clean, says Dr. Pony. He carefully wipes away the mud and gives the clean glasses back to Pedro. I can see again, says Pedro. Oh, thank you, doctors. Everything is back to normal, says Madame Gazelle. But Tiddles needs helping too, cries Peppa. Oh, can you doctors help a tortoise in trouble? Asks Madame Gazelle. I'm afraid not, but we know someone who can, replies Dr. Pony. I'll call them now. Dr. Hamster the vet arrives. Tiddles fell out of the tree, Pedro tells Dr. Hamsters. Tiddles, you little pickle, says Dr. Hamster. She flips him over so that he can stand up again. All of a sudden, Dr. Elephant the dentist appears. Hello, I heard there was an emergency. Are everyone's teeth okay? He asks. Yes, thank you, everyone answers. Dr. Elephant sets off on his way. Oh, my car won't start, cries Dr. Elephant. None of the doctors know what to do. I know who to call, says Madame Gazelle. Grandad Dog's breakdown service. Grandad Dog arrives. He opens up the car bonnet and has a look.
Right, now try the engine,
he says.
Vroom, 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 vroom.
Dr. Elephant's car has been fixed. Grandad Dog is a car doctor, cheers Peppa. There are doctors for everything, even cars. Everyone loves doctors. And that was Peppa Pig Doctors, George's friend. Peppa and her friends are having lots of fun at the playground today. Peppa is on the roundabout with Susie Sheep and Danny Dog. George is playing in the sandpit with Mummy Pig. Rebecca Rabbit and her little brother Richard Rabbit arrive. Squeak, squeak! Richard has brought his toy dinosaur. Hello everyone, says Rebecca. Please can I play on the roundabout too?
Hop on, Rebecca,
says Daddy Pig. Let's go really, really fast, says Rebecca. Richard wants to go on the roundabout with his big sister. Peppa sighs.
If Richard gets on, it means we can't go fast. Richard, perhaps you'd like to go on with George instead, says Mummy Rabbit. No, says Richard. George has a dinosaur just like yours, says Mummy Rabbit. Let's go and see. Richard is the same age as George, and they both love dinosaurs. Richard wanted to see George's dinosaur, said Mummy Rabbit. Grrr, dinosaur, roars George and Richard. They both giggle. Hee hee! George, can Richard play with your dinosaur? Asks Mummy Pig. No, says George. Richard, can George play with your dinosaur? Asks Mummy Rabbit. No, says Richard. George and Richard do not want to share their dinosaurs. Mummy Rabbit gives both dinosaurs to George. George laughs, hee, and Richard starts to cry. Then Mummy Pig gives both dinosaurs to Richard. Richard laughs, squeak, squeak, hee, and George starts to cry. George and Richard always cry when they play together, says Peppa. Can you two big girls teach them how to play together? Asks Mummy Rabbit. Peppa and Rebecca take George and Richard to the sandpit. The girls show their brothers how to make sand castles. George uses his spade to squash Richard's sandcastle. Richard cries. Richard uses his spade to squash George's sandcastle. George cries. The game has not gone very well. George, what's your favourite thing in the whole playground? Seesaw, shouts George. George sits on one end of the seesaw, but it needs someone on the other end. Richard wants to play on the seesaw too. Mummy Rabbit lifts Richard onto the seesaw. George and Richard go up and down on the seesaw. George and Richard are playing together, cheers Peppa. George likes Richard. Richard likes George. George and Richard like playing together. And that was Peppa Pig, George's friend. Peppa Pig, Grandpa Pig's boat. Grandpa Pig is taking Peppa and George out for a day on the river. I'm the captain of this boat, says Grandpa Pig. Granny Pig, Peppa and George all salute Grandpa Pig. Aye, aye, Captain, they cry. When I tell you to do something, you must do it, says Grandpa Pig. Unless it's something silly, Grandpa Pig tells Peppa and George. Grandpa Pig frowns. The captain never says anything silly. Of course not, Captain, says Granny Pig, saluting. Everyone does what Grandpa Pig says. He asks George to raise the flag and Granny Pig to take the wheel. Then Grandpa Pig tells Peppa to ring the bell. Ding, ding! Hee-hee, says Peppa. Off they go. The boat speeds through the water. Granny Pig thinks they should go a bit slower. Good idea, Granny Pig, says Grandpa Pig. I don't want to use up all my petrol. Peppa spots another boat. It's Grandad Dog. He's taking Danny Dog out for a day on the river. Grandad Dog is Grandpa Pig's very best friend.
Ha ha! I'm surprised your boat is still afloat, Grandad Dog. It must be almost as old as you are, says Grandpa Pig. Ruff! This old boat can go faster than your rusty bucket any day, replies Grandad Dog.
Grandpa Pig is not happy. He calls Grandad Dog a sea dog. Grandad Dog calls Grandpa Pig a water hog. You are both acting like little children, says Granny Pig. Peppa and George think this is funny. Grandpa Pig won't say sorry. Grandad Dog won't say sorry. They decide to race instead. Grandad Dog zooms off.
Ruff! Catch me if you can, water hog,
says Grandad Dog. Grandpa Pig is not happy.
Sea dog!
Shouts Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig overtakes Grandad Dog and leaves him far behind.
Can't catch me! Ha ha ha!
Says Grandpa Pig.
I win! Oh no! My boat has run out of petrol, cries Grandpa Pig. Maybe I did go a bit too fast.
Maybe Grandad Dog can tow us home, suggests Granny Pig.
I do not want him to, says Grandpa Pig.
Will you two ever grow up? Says Granny Pig. Grandpa, say sorry to Grandad Dog, says Peppa.
Ruff! Grandad, say sorry to Grandpa Pig,
says Danny. Finally, they both say sorry. Grandad Dog is Grandpa Pig's very best friend. Grandad Dog tows Grandpa Pig's boat home. The main thing is, I won the race, says Peppa. Grandpa Pig, says Granny Pig. Silly Grandpa Pig. And that was Peppa Pig, Grandpa Pig's boat. Peppa Pig, my mummy. My name is Peppa, and this book is all about my mummy. She is the best mummy in the whole wide world, and the prettiest. My mummy is very graceful, like a ballerina, except when it comes to picking blackberries. My mummy can be very serious. Serious about playing with me and George. My mummy works very hard at home and when she's outside. My mummy is very wise. She can read maps and then make paper aeroplanes out of them. My mummy always treats me and George like we're big people. But she's always there if we're frightened. My mummy can do anything she puts her mind to, especially if someone tells her she can't do it. My mummy is very neat and tidy, but she loves jumping in muddy puddles, almost as much as I do. And that was Peppa Pig, my mummy. Peppa Pig. Peppa goes swimming. It is a lovely sunny day, and Peppa and her family are at the swimming pool. Peppa, George, let Daddy put on your armbands, snorts Mummy Pig.
Today is George's first time at the pool, and he's a bit scared of getting in.
Why don't you just put one foot in the water?
Suggests Daddy Pig. Maybe George should try both feet at the same time, says Mummy Pig. Splash! Mummy Pig has convinced George to jump in the water, and he loves it. Hee! Shouts George happily.
Ho ho! Well done, George!
Snorts Daddy Pig. Here is Rebecca Rabbit with her brother Richard and their mummy. Hello, everyone, cries Rebecca. Squeak, squeak, says Richard. Richard, hold on to this float and you can practice kicking your legs, says Mummy Rabbit. George, would you like to try kicking your legs? Asks Mummy Pig. Yee, float, giggles George.
Oh, very good, laughs Daddy Pig. But please try not to splash.
Big children don't splash, adds Peppa. Big children are very good at swimming, snorts Peppa. When George and Richard are older, they'll be able to swim like us, won't they, Rebecca? Yes, says Rebecca as she watches the boys kicking. Peppa and Rebecca race each other up and down the pool with their armbands on. They are having lots of fun swimming and splashing in the water. Oops! Richard has dropped his toy watering can into the pool. Mummy! Wah! Cries Richard. Sorry, Richard, I can't reach. It's too far down, says Mummy Rabbit. Luckily, Daddy Pig is an excellent swimmer. He takes off his glasses and dives down to get it.
Oh, there you go,
Snorts Daddy Pig. Squeak, squeak, says Richard. Well done, Daddy, smiles Mummy Pig. Oh dear, now Richard is soaking Daddy with the watering can. What a naughty rabbit. Hee hee! George thinks it's hilarious. Everyone has had a wonderful day at the pool. I hope you enjoyed that. Peppa Pig, Peppa's New Neighbours. Daddy Pig is working hard. He is building a new house. The new house looks very small. Is it a house for elves and fairies? Asks Peppa.
No, chuckles Daddy Pig. This is just a model.
Daddy Pig shows Peppa and George a drawing of what the real house will look like. Something is missing, says Peppa. She draws a swing to go outside the house.
Oh, perfect,
decides Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig takes Peppa and George to see the new house.
Here we are,
he snorts. But, Daddy, there's nothing here.
That's because the builder's work hasn't even started yet,
replies Daddy Pig. Mr. Bull is going to build the new house for Daddy Pig.
Can you build it exactly like this, please?
But, bigger, adds Peppa. Mr. Bull shouts to his friend,
Mr. Pig wants a house.
Is it going to be built of straw? Asks Mr. Rhino. Or bricks? Or sticks? Adds Mr. Bull. Daddy Pig wants the new house to be made of bricks. Mr. Bull gets straight to work. Can we help? Wonders Peppa.
You can lay the first brick,
smiles Mr. Bull. Mr. Bull tells George to put a blob of mortar on the ground. Mortar is a special kind of mud that sticks bricks together.
Each brick must be laid straight and level. It takes ages. Will you finish it today? Asks Peppa.
You can't build a house in a day, snorts Mr. Bull. It will be finished tomorrow.
The next morning, Peppa and George go straight over to see the new house. It's finished, snorts Peppa.
It's almost finished,
says Daddy Pig.
It just needs to be inspected.
Mr. Rabbit is the building inspector. He looks carefully at the new house. Very good, he decides.
But you forgot the swing. Oh, no, we didn't, shouts Mr. Bull.
The house is ready for the new neighbours to move in. Mr. Wolf and his family arrive. Mr. Wolf tries huffing and puffing, but the house doesn't fall down. It is very strong. What is this new house made of? Asks Mr. Wolf.
Bricks,
replies Daddy Pig.
So don't even think about it.
Wendy Wolf likes the new swing. Can you push me? Asks Peppa. No, grins Wendy. I'll huff and puff you instead. Ha 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 ha! Hee hee! And that was Peppa Pig, Peppa's New Neighbours. Peppa Pig, School Bus Trip. Peppa and her friends are going on a school bus trip. Let's check you are all here, says Madame Gazelle. Here, cries Peppa. Today, begins Madame Gazelle, we are going on a trip to the mountains. Hooray! Cheer all the children. Peppa and Susie are already a little hungry. Please, can we eat our lunch now? They ask Madame Gazelle. Why not eat your apples and save the rest for the picnic? She replies. The bus has arrived at the foot of the mountain. The road is very steep. Come on, bus, you can make it! Everyone cheers. Peppa and her friends have finally made it to the top of the mountain. Look at that view! Gasps Madame Gazelle. All the children look out over the valley. Wow! Sighs Peppa loudly. Wow! 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 Peppa hears in the distance. What was that? She asks quietly. It's your echo, Peppa, replies Madame Gazelle. An echo is the sound you hear when you speak loudly in the mountains, explains Madame Gazelle. Ruff! Bah! Now it's time for a picnic lunch. Peppa loves picnics. Everyone loves picnics. Yum, yum. Where are the ducks? Asks Peppa, taking a bite of her sandwich. They always turn up when we have picnics. Here come the ducks. Hello, would you like some bread? Peppa asks them. The ducks are very lucky today. There is plenty of bread. The bus has arrived. It's time to go home. Let's all sing a song, suggests Madame Gazelle. Hooray! Everyone has had a great day. And that was Peppa Pig, School Bus Trip. Peppa Pig, the fire engine. Mummy Pig is going to fire engine practice.
Good excuse for a chat,
says Daddy Pig.
I have a very important meeting and a barbecue with the Daddy's football team.
Mummy Pig, Peppa and George arrive at Miss Rabbit's fire station. Wow! Gasps Peppa, seeing the big red fire engine.
Fire engine!
Giggles George. Daddy Pig and his friends are playing football and having a barbecue in the garden. Oh dear! The barbecue has turned into a fire! Daddy Pig rings the fire station. Ring, 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 ring. The fire phone is ringing. Hello, Daddy Pig, answers Miss Rabbit. This phone is only for when there's a fire, shouts Daddy Pig. We'll be right there, replies Miss Rabbit. Mummies to the rescue, cries Miss Rabbit, sliding down the fire pole. Hold tight, cries Mummy Pig. Whee! Laughs Peppa. The fire engine is ready to go. Peppa, George and the mummies soon find the barbecue and get their water hose out. Stand back, daddies, cries Miss Rabbit. The water comes spurting out the hose. Hiss! Hooray! Cheer all the daddies when the fire is out. Thank you for saving us, says Daddy Pig. No problem, replies Miss Rabbit. It's all part of the service. Now that Miss Rabbit has flooded the garden, says Daddy Pig, we can jump up and down in muddy puddles. I love fire engines, says Peppa, especially when they make muddy puddles. And that was Peppa Pig, the fire engine. Peppa Pig, tiny creatures. Peppa and George are helping Grandpa Pig pick vegetables. Grandpa hands Peppa a lettuce. Peppa can see something sitting on the lettuce. There's a horrible monster, she snorts.
That's just a little snail,
says Grandpa Pig.
Grr, monster,
says George. George likes the snail. Suddenly, the snail disappeared. Where's he gone? Asks Peppa. He's hiding in his shell, explains Grandpa. Grandpa, George and I want to be snails, says Peppa.
Well,
says Grandpa,
these baskets can be your shells.
I'm going to eat all Grandpa Pig's lettuce. Laughs Peppa.
Oi, keep off my lovely lettuce, you cheeky snails,
calls Grandpa. And when Grandpa Pig shouts at me, giggles Peppa, I'll hide in my little house. Monster, says George. Here are Peppa and George's friends. Can we be snails too? They ask.
Well,
says Grandpa,
you could be something else from the garden.
What's that buzzing sound? Asks Peppa. It's coming from that little house, says Susie.
It's a bee house,
explains Grandpa.
It's called a hive. The bees collect nectar from the flowers and then fly to the hive to make it into honey.
I like honey, says Peppa. Let's pretend to be bees. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Ha ha ha!
What busy bees! Ha ha ha!
Laughs Grandpa. Granny Pig has been breaking bread. Would you busy bees like some toast? She asks. Yes, please, says Peppa and her friends, with lots of honey. I like being a bee because they eat lots of lovely honey, says Susie. I like being a snail snorts Peppa, because they ate all Grandpa's vegetables. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, be sure and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Read us a story. Thanks.
Bye!